Hello there, this is Kush Sharma from Click Trainers, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to integrate your Instamojo account with any other thing, any other software or any other app by using Zapier. So basically we're going to be seeing how to integrate Instamojo with Zapier and then use it with another app. Okay, so first of all, when would such a situation arise? When would you need to use an app like a middle app like Zapier when it comes to Instamojo? So let me give you a real life example. For example, on Click Trainers, I do a lot of webinars where I teach people how to create and sell online courses and how to start an online course business. Okay, so for example, you can see one of my products on Instamojo here is this product here called Learn How to Create and Sell Online Courses Live Webinar, which is for 99 rupees. So, suppose let's say I open this link. So let's say I'm advertising this, someone comes here, they click on buy tickets and they fill up all these details and they pay this 99 rupees. Now what should happen is that once they've paid the money, so my email marketing software that I use is called Convertkit, okay? And what should happen is that once they've paid me, they should also become at the same time automatically, that same person should become a subscriber on my Convertkit account. And the subscriber that is already set in my Convertkit account, that when someone becomes a subscriber, they should get this email which has all the details of the webinar, like the Zoom link, the date, the passcode, and all these things. Okay, so I want all this to happen automatically, and now Instamojo does not have a built-in integration with Convertkit. Otherwise, this would be possible, right? So in such case, you need, when there's no built-in integration between the two apps that you need for your work, you need Zapier. Okay, so here what we can do is I can create something called as a Zap, which I'm going to be showing you from scratch how to create a Zap with a separate example. But basically, you'll be creating a Zap between Instamojo in this case and Convertkit, and through Zapier, we'll be telling them through this Zap that when someone pays, take this email that they put in this form on Instamojo and take that same email and make a new subscriber on Convertkit, so that our follow-up email can be sent to this. So all this happens automatically. Now, obviously, I can do this manually also, right? Because Instamojo will give me a notification when someone pays me that 99 rupees, and I can also manually add them on Convertkit, and the same thing will happen. But sometimes, especially like something like in a webinar or in other cases also, when you're selling different types of products and services, it's always better to give that email straight up. Because let's say you're sleeping and someone buys your product or service like an online course or something, or like a webinar seat, and then you see it in the morning and then you add them and then that email goes. All that can be a bit of an issue. So Zapier just automates all these things very well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are actually going to create a Zap from scratch by taking a different example. Now, I usually use Convertkit, but for the example that I'm going to be giving you, I'll show you Aweber. Okay, so Aweber is also a software that I used to use a lot before Convertkit. But the reason I'm showing you Aweber is because if you want to practice this, then Aweber allows you, gives you an unlimited free account up to 500 subscribers. So you can kind of practice this without having any headache. Okay. So we're going to try to associate Instamojo with Aweber and not Convertkit, just for convenience sake. Okay, so I have this product called Test Product, which is priced at 99 rupees. So we're going to be using this for our Zap. So what I want is that when someone goes like this, they open up this. Maybe let's say we are advertising this particular product or service, and we want people to, and when they go on and click on this button and they fill up these details, of course we want them to turn into a subscriber. So we want to tell Zapier, take this email and put it inside, in this case, Aweber. Okay, so we've got this list called online coaching. I'm just giving this just an example. And right now you can see that this doesn't have any subscribers, right? So we want to add a subscriber to this, okay, through the test product. So that's how we want to integrate test product with our list here on Aweber. So let's go back to Zapier. We're going to do this by making what we call as a Zap. So initially, when you register for Zapier, it's actually free up to a certain number of Zaps and tasks. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about what a task is and what a Zap obviously is what we're just making, this combination. And they have something called as tasks, which I'll just tell you what that is about. And basically, initially, the point is that you can use Zapier for free for a limited time, but after that for a limited number of tasks and Zaps. But after that, if it goes beyond, if you're doing this again and again, let's say you're advertising and you're making too many sales and you want Zapier to do this for each sale, for example in this case for the test product, okay, and you cross the threshold, then you'll have to start paying on a monthly basis. Okay, so whenever you make a Zap, the first thing you can do, you can just name your Zaps. For example, I can call it, in this case, let's say Instamojo. You can maybe give the product name also. So test product to Aweber online coaching list. Okay, so let's say kind of, I'm selling an online course and I want to put them in my online coaching list as a subscriber. So that two things to a Zap. Okay, when you create a Zap, after you've given it the name, the first part is called the trigger part. So the trigger part comes first in the step. That means what is the app? So here you have to choose the app. Which app is triggering this whole process of this online course buyer turning into this subscriber. Okay, so in this case, obviously, which is the trigger app is going to be between these two is going to be Instamojo, because that's where the things are starting. So you just simply select Instamojo from here. Okay, so here all the apps which have a tie-up with Zapier come, and most of the good apps and softwares have. So you can see Instamojo is still in the the beta stage, and I'm going to be telling you about why this is slightly there's a slight disadvantage to this, and what is the workaround for this, because right now it's not a fully developed integration with Zapier, and you want to understand the downside of this in just some time. Okay, but right now don't worry too much about it. So basically I'm going to select Instamojo here, and then it's going to ask me what is the trigger event. Okay, so here new successful payment. Okay, so that means when someone makes a new successful payment, and then I'm going to click on continue. Next is going to ask me choose your Instamojo account. Okay, in this case you will have to, if you're doing it for the first time, or because I already have my accounts associated with Zapier here, if you're doing it for the first time, Zapier might ask you to input your API and secret keys and all these things, and it also shows you where to find this on Instamojo itself. So it's very, very easy to do it. Okay, it's just like they need those keys in order to get permission from Instamojo to use your account. It's just like a permission thing. Okay, it's very easy to follow when you're doing it for the first time. Then it's gonna tell you to test your trigger and all. We'll talk about all that later. This is not like 100% compulsory. And the second part of Zap is the action part. So when the trigger has happened, that means now we're told when there's a new successful payment on our Instamojo account, okay, what should happen? So that's where the second app will come into the play in the action part. So that will be the Aweber app in this case. Okay, so in the action part, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to search for Aweber, and then it's going to ask me what should be the action event. So I want this person who bought my product to become a subscriber under the online coaching list. Okay, so that is what should happen. So here action event will be create subscriber. Okay, you have different types of action events. Okay, but right now we're just sticking to something very basic. Then it's going to ask you to sign into Aweber. So again, if you're doing it for the first time, it might ask you those names and all those things. Also, if you're doing it, if you've already done that, it'll just sometimes just ask you to log in again. That's all. Okay, so you can see it's my Aweber account has come here. I'm going to click on continue. Okay, so account we already chosen. This is my account. My list is online coaching. So I have multiple lists. I still use Aweber a bit, but this is the test list that I had created. Now email is going to be, okay, so this these details that you're seeing is actually it's actually showing you details of one of my people who actually bought one of my actual real life products from my creative pad media account on Instamojo. Okay, but basically you want to see an email like this, and I can just select this. So here basically what we're telling Zapier is that it's asking us, okay, that you want to add a subscriber in this Aweber account in this list. Okay, but how should Zapier fetch how does Zapier come to know what is the email of the person? So here is what it's asking from this. Okay, so that's why you can see here, if I go here, if I just so online coaching, so email, that means it's just asking us that out of all the details that someone fills here, what is the part that you want the email to be? Then obviously that is going to be the buyer email, that is this part. So we're just telling Zapier that in the email part you should consider whatever someone entered here. So you select buyer email. Okay, because there were other things like buyer name and all those things won't qualify to add as a subscriber here, because to add as a subscriber you need the email which someone entered here. So that's why we enter buyer email, and name we can enter buyer name, the first name here. Okay, and tags, if you want, like Aweber has something called as tags, that will be a slightly bit advanced, and we don't want that right now. and boom. Okay, so now we're going to test this whole thing, okay, just to see whether it is actually working. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this, and I'm actually going to make a payment on my own. Okay, so spend these 99 rupees. All right, so I just made the payment, and right now just doing a confirmation and the payment is successful. Now we're going to go back to Zapier here, and we're going to just see if it's able to fetch. Okay, so we're going to test this trigger. In the first part here, we're going to just test whether it's able to fetch the details from Instamojo itself. Okay, then we'll be able to test the ultimate thing. That's what Zapier is telling us, that first test your trigger, whether it's actually Zapier is able to capture the information that I just entered to make this payment. Okay, so I'm going to click on test trigger. All right, so you can see the moment I clicked on test, we've got the details here. So this is what the details were pulled out. These were the details that I just entered to make this payment. And now what these details will allow us to do is just allow us to do the final test here. Okay, so I'm just going to click on test and continue. Boom, so you can see here these were the details, and so you can see a subscriber was just sent to Aweber, okay, from these details that were fetched from Instamojo. So we already told Zapier, remember, that what should be the action that should happen, that from this detail that someone entered here, all these details, the buyer email, okay, which is the email here, buyer email, which is the email that I just entered, that should be turned into the subscriber on the action app. So let's see, now it has, since we've done this test, saying test was successful, a subscriber was sent to Aweber 30 seconds. So if this is successful, if this Zap is working fine, that means when I see my Aweber account right now, what should be the subscriber name? It should be my own email, Kush Sharma, the email that I just entered to make this payment. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to click online coaching. We're going to click on subscribers again. And boom, you can see. So I was able to just make a subscribe. Now it still says pending and all, because that's got to do with double opt-in, single opt-in procedures on the email marketing software that you don't have to worry about. We're just seeing how the Zap works. But basically, we've been able to get a person who paid on Instamojo, who had no connection with Aweber, to become automatically a subscriber on your email marketing software. So this is how Zapier works. But there's one very, very crucial thing that we have missed, okay, which has got to do with Instamojo. Okay, so normally, if I'm using an established app which is properly set up in Zapier, like which is not in a beta stage like we saw with Instamojo, then that's all you got to do. Okay, you're done. But the problem here is, if I go back to our Zap, okay, let's see this trigger part. Okay, choose app and event. We chose Instamojo. We had new successful payment. Now this is the issue, okay, because this is not still at a very advanced stage in Zapier. Okay, it's not fully developed for Zapier. The problem is that under the trigger event, you're only getting two options: successful payment or a dropped off payment. Okay, now the problem is this: it worked fine for our test product, right? There was no issue for the test product that we just did it for. But ultimately, if you go back to the Zap, what is the trigger event? Only a new successful payment. So if you have another product, let's say on my Instamojo, I have all these courses that I have and different products and services that I have. Okay, the problem will be right now, because this app is turned like this, no matter what successful payment I get from Instamojo, irrespective of the product that I'm using, is just going to basically take that email and turn it into a subscriber in my Aweber account. Okay, so it doesn't matter which product someone is making a successful payment on. Okay, that's obviously something that I want to avoid, but there's no way to avoid that, because naturally what the next step should have been, if this was a developed app for Zapier, would have been which product, choose the product. So only when it happens to the test product, I should be able to specify new successful payment, and then the next part should be which product, test product. So only when someone buys my test product should they become a subscriber on Aweber. But right now it's going to happen for all the products that I have, okay, which is something that I don't want. Okay, and right now that is not possible, because this is not at a fully developed stage for Zapier. But there's a way around for this. Okay, so the correct way to actually use Instamojo So first of all, if you just have one product, like for example on Instamojo, then it's fine. Then you can even use this if you're never going to have a second product. So if you're sure that you're just going to have one product, you can even use this approach that I just showed. I've just shown you. Okay, but most likely you're going to have different products and services for which you're pricing separately, and you don't want the same thing to be happening for different products and services. In that case, what you're going to do is the procedure will pretty much remain the same. There's just going to be one major difference which is going to come when we create our Zap. So let's see that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and we're going to create, by the way, you'll have to also just turn this Zap on. Whenever you're done testing, there's that on button. Make sure that is switched set to on. That otherwise, if it's set to off, that means your Zap will still not be fully active. This only happened because we tested things. Okay, but after that, you just make sure you switch on the Zap once the test is successful. That means the Zap is active. Okay, so don't forget to do that. But now what we're going to do is let's make a new Zap. Okay, because the first step will actually be different because we don't want to have that problem that we just talked about. So here in the trigger part, earlier we just selected Instamojo, right? But what we're finding is with Instamojo, because it's not fully developed, we're not able to select the particular specific product. So what we're going to do is we're not going to select Instamojo. What we're going to do is we're going to select something called as webhooks by Zapier. Okay, so I'm going to select webhooks by Zapier, and in trigger event, we're going to select this part which says catch hook. Okay, and we're going to click on continue. Okay, and what you're going to see here is once you do this, you want to see this option which says custom webhook URL. Okay, so just copy this. And then what we're going to do is if you go to your product, the specific product that you only, let's say you have multiple products, but you only want this Zap for the Aweber thing that we just did for our example, you only want it on a specific product. Okay. So in this case, let's say it's the test product again. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on edit product and you copied that hook. Okay. Basically that hook is just going to combine, like, think of a fish hook. So we're basically through that hook, which is the URL, we're actually just catching this fish, this particular product. Okay, so how do you place that hook is if you go on in Instamojo, if you select the product, you go on to advanced settings, there's this last option which says webhook URL. So this URL that we just copied here, that's like the hook. Okay, you just put this here. So that's how we're catching this fish out from all the sea of different fish. We're catching this particular fish, this particular product. Okay, and we're going to click on update. So now we know that we've hooked this particular product to this Zap that we are making. That's what the catch hook thing is. Okay, and then I'm going to click on continue. Okay, so we're going to click on test trigger. Okay, so it's right when it's showing me we couldn't find a request. Okay, that's because we'll have to just make a payment again. In order to, because we've just put the hook right now. Okay, it's not able to locate that product. So again, we'll just have to, in order for this to happen, we'll just do this again. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to make a payment again quickly. Right, so I've just made the payment. Now it's taking me back and the payment is again successful. So we should be able to now, if I click on test trigger, yeah, you can see that now we've been able to get the details here. So Kush Sharma, my email, and the price that I've just paid. Okay, so now we're going to click on continue. Okay, now is the action part. Okay, so here again we're going to use something similar. So let me just delete this subscriber from here because the only thing is that we'll again have to add this as a subscriber here. Or let me just let me see if I have another empty list here. Maybe we'll add to that. Yeah, so in even this other list, because I don't use Aweber anymore, so these are all basically empty lists. So this time I'm going to use Click Trainers webinar. Otherwise I could have deleted it from the other list also. Where is our Zap? So our Zap is here. I'm going to select Aweber. Okay, action event, create a subscriber, continue, choose an account. I already have this account here. I'm going to click on continue. Now it's going to ask me account is this, choose list. So this time I'll choose, because online coaching already has the same email, mine. Okay, so it probably won't allow us to add again. So I'm going to select a different list, and email is going to be, as you can see now this time, if you remember in the email part, last time it was showing the Instamojo, details that it got from the Instamojo form, but this time it's showing you the catch hook, the details that it got from the catch hook, okay? Because the trigger app here is the catch hook trigger apps, okay? So again, but if we click on show all options, we will find that email option. So we're telling, Zapier is asking us, out of all the information that we retrieved from the payment that you just made from this catch hook that we just got, what is the email? Tell us. So we're just looking for email. So you can see here, buyer, I can see my email is, so I'm going to select this. This is what should be turned into a subscriber on Aweber, okay? And my name should be, obviously, if I go here, buyer name, okay? And that's it. And now I'm going to click on continue, and I'm going to click on test and continue. And you can see a subscriber was sent to Aweber just now. So if I see this, if I click on subscribers right now, and boom. So you can see that we've been able to add a subscriber from this payment. And the best part now is that now this is not affected by the separate products that I have here. Okay, this is only going to work because I have it on this particular test product, because I'm using a particular webhook which is associated with this Zap only for that specific product or service. So right now, till Instamojo develops properly and they allow you to choose the different products and services, using the catch hook method will be better for you, especially if you have multiple products or services. And then once this is the case, obviously we were just testing it on ourselves, but what you're going to do is you're going to just basically turn this on like this. And now what's going to happen is that when someone else, now let's say you're advertising this particular product here, and someone just comes here, they buy, the same procedure will happen. They will keep getting added to your Aweber account in the Click Trainers list or in the online coaching list, whatever you choose for your own email marketing software. And then you can have the automations within the email marketing software that once someone becomes a subscriber, send them this email. That all happens within the email marketing software using something called as follow-up sequences or follow-up series. But basically, the moment someone pays you, you'll be able to first of all get them as a subscriber, send some sort of an automated email to them, and then also because they turn into a subscriber, you can in the future you can keep sending them emails also. So Zapier just kind of automates all this so that you don't have to do this manually. But just remember the important thing: till Instamojo develops, you got to do this by the catch hook methodology. Now I know it can just be all slightly technical. That's why I always suggest, before you actually do this for your actual products and services, do tests like this. Okay, create a fake product. Like I showed you, Aweber is free. Even Convertkit, up to I think 14-15 days, they give you a free account. So first try it with yourself. You should be 100% sure that it's all working absolutely fine with your own testing, and then switch it on and let it be out in the real world. Okay. Now I told you that I'll also be just telling you about how Zapier's payment plans and all these things work. Okay. So let's just talk a bit about that. All right. So if we just go on, over here to, just let me go to Google. Let me just type Zapier pricing. Okay. So you'll be able to see here that it's free for 100 tasks a month. Okay. Now what exactly is a task? You understood what a Zap is, right? But let's just open up the Zap that we just kind of created, or maybe any Zap. Okay. So this is one Zap that we just created, but it has a trigger and an action. So this is one task, and then Zapier is also performing two tasks. So in order for the Zap to complete, it is performing two tasks. You can even do other things. You can even have 3 tasks here. So you can have like 2 actions. When someone pays a new successful payment on Instamojo, not only do they become a subscriber on Convertkit, but let's say, for example, in my industry, where we sell online courses, it also might be a required step to add them to your LMS platform, your learning management system platform, where your online course is hosted, like Teachable or Thinkific. That means you want to add them, that particular email also, and enroll them in a particular course. All that can also be done from here. Like for example, I can search for Teachable, okay, and create enroll user in course, and then proceed the same way. You'll test it and all, but in this case there are 3 tasks. Okay, so each time your Zap goes through successfully, in this case it will be 3 tasks completed by Zapier. Okay, so if you're going for the free account, okay, you're going to have only 100 tasks per month available to you for free. So obviously, if you start doing this in bulk and you're doing this really seriously for your business, there's no doubt that you will at least need to upgrade from this. So currently I am myself on this plan, which is around $20 a month. Is actually, I think, more expensive than that, because what we're seeing here is the monthly payment, but paid altogether. Yeah, so it's actually $24, because this is if you pay annually altogether. But it's a great app because like I said, it really automates things for you. But since you have this free option available, you have Aweber available for free, and you have Instamojo almost available for free. So you can definitely test all these things out that I just shown you for completely for free. And then if you like it, then you can definitely go ahead. So I use it a lot. Sometimes my Zaps have 3 tasks also, sometimes they have 2 tasks. But till now, I absolutely love using Zapier. And of course, I do plan to make more videos, and I'll let you know if there are some better alternatives to do this for free. But as of now, if the 2 apps that you want to integrate don't have a built-in integration, Zapier is the answer. And trust me, once it does work for you, it does make your life very easy. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So I hope that you like this video. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments below, and I'll be glad to help you out. See you soon.